Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here and welcome to this Aimless Wanderings vlog. Today it is on A Good Pug Goes to War, the third and penultimate story in Pompous Wave 2, Walkies in the Death Zone. Now this is also the first story by Joel H. Jolson, and it's also got him cameoing as the newsreader. He's got some of the best lines in the episode, by the way. Now, in Off to the Shops, I did mention this was a popular one, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Well, re-listening to it, I was absolutely I don't know the words, I'm sorry, but I loved it, actually. It turns out I just didn't find it as funny as I did on the rewatch. I found it lots more funny rewatching it. So yeah, I don't know what it was. It's just that the re-listen, I just liked it a lot more. So yeah, I just found it very funny. I mean, I suppose most of the Aimless Wanderings fans consider it the best of the wave, but personally I consider it one of the best, but not the best. So this story sees the Pompous Doctor and Martin go to Metabolus 14, or Metabilos, or Metabilas, depending on who's speaking. So they go to Metabolus 14 because Martin's eaten the Doctor's trousers. Whoops. But the Doctor is accidentally accused of committing a crime he didn't commit, as their king, Brian, who is a pug, has been kidnapped, and the guards accuse the Doctor of kidnapping the king, as he's got Martin. So the Doctor is taken to the Judge Box 3000 to be judged and then sent to the psychic prison, whilst Martin takes the king's position, with Grudgeworthy, the ambassador for Spotron Pie, deciding to tell the speech as Martin doesn't have the neural translator. So in the prison, the Doctor, his greatest fear is becoming the Dynamite Doctor, his next self. But using logic, he's able to escape, and along with beating up all the guards, and gets to the speech just in time to expose Grudgeworthy as the one who kidnapped the king, and show that Martin is not the real king. And eventually, we hear Brian underneath Grudgeworthy's cloaks and in his trousers. And Grudgeworthy is banished to Spotron Pie, where the Blobotrons are having fun with him. And Brian gives the Doctor 500 pairs of pug-proof, waterproof, and other proof. Lots of proofs, trousers that are very horribly taste in colour, as Convolution of the Doctor would say. So yeah, it's a very good story here, and I love some of the little details. Mainly the newsreaders, every single word the newsreader says in the first scene, where he's just talking to the crowd and just before the titles roll, every single word he says is pure gold. And also, my favourite bit is when he goes, "Oh my flipping blimey goodness, the king has vanished. I repeat, the king has vanished. And now the weather." That is amazing. There's also a nice little nod to Jim, twice. And also, in the prison, the Dynamite Doctor's just babbling on about some adventures, and at one point he talks about an adventure that Christie went on to save him by going back in time and meeting all his other selves, which are last to Convolution of the Doctor, which also, the bit where Christie meets Pompous, takes place immediately after this story. But more on that when we get to that story. And also, there's also stuff about Jeff, the Axon, So that's great. That's a nice little Easter egg to a character from Convolution, as well as also in War of the Doctors. And yeah, it's just got some really nice small bits alongside the main story. This story has I mean, there isn't really much I can really say that this one doesn't really do well. I think if there was anything, I would have liked to have seen a bit more of Martin as the king. Like, he's being made the king, but we don't really see we see Grudgeworthy meeting him at one point, but then until the speech, it's just that. It's mostly Pompous in the prison with dynamite. But overall, it's a brilliant story with a lot of laughs, and yeah, shows Joel H. Jolson can write a really great script. And certainly he can write dynamite really well, which Convolution of the Doctor will prove even more so. Final thoughts on this story? Brilliant, basically. It's just brilliant. I can see why people love this. I won't consider it the best of the series, but it's certainly a brilliant story. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, just very funny and really well written. So that's A Good Pug Goes to War. By the way, you can tell where they nicked that title from. Thank you for watching, and next time we'll be looking at the final Walkies in the Death Zone vlog, audio, Death to the Davros. I'll see you guys next time.